Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about something deeply personal, forgiveness. It's a word we all know, but it carries so much weight, especially when it is tied to deep hurt or betrayal. So when we talk about forgiveness, it means something bad has happened. Someone or something caused trouble, whether it was intentional or not, and the forgiveness I'm talking about is not the easy kind. It's not like someone ate the last piece of cake you were saving, but while they didn't know, they apologized, fine. This is not the type of forgiveness I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that feels almost impossible. That's the type when you are thinking about when you have been deeply hurt, deeply betrayed, or wronged. The kind of pain I'm describing can be so intense that and so overwhelming that even just the idea of forgiveness can feel ridiculous. Like you think, yeah, okay, maybe Buddha or Jesus can do it, but not me, like not after what they did to me. Look at the destruction and pain they caused. Like, how could I possibly forgive them? And honestly, that's a valid feeling. When you are hurting that much, the forgiveness itself can feel like betraying yourself, actually, because it feels like saying their actions were okay when it wasn't. Or you might think forgive them, but are you kidding? Like they don't deserve forgiveness. Like in fact, they can feel guilty for the rest of their lives and it still wouldn't compare to the pain they caused me. So why should I forgive them? Why? Why? Did I get a bit intense there? Sorry. Well, my dears, obviously, this is something I'm struggling myself. It's not like I'm sitting all day like a nerd with no social life, thinking like a Greek philosopher on the deepness of stuff. No, this is something personal to me as well. The point is, I'm talking about the type of forgiveness that it feels like even though you want to, you can't. But what I have learned through my research and my own experience is forgiveness is not something you force, it's something you reach. And you can't reach it when you are still bleeding, when you are still hurting. Forgiveness doesn't happen on day one. Actually, it doesn't really happen until you reach a point where you understand what really forgiveness is for and what does it do. This was an eye-opener for me when I realized forgiveness is something you do for yourself and not for the other person. It's really ironic because the forgiveness is not about them. It's about yourself. Forgiveness is not about saying what they did was okay or the pain they caused is forgotten or didn't matter. It's not. It's you are still probably feeling it on some level, but forgiveness is about you because it's about no longer letting their actions or the pain they cause to take up space in your heart, in your mind, and kind of like claiming your energy back, like releasing yourself from the grip of that hurt so that you can move forward. That's why forgiveness is about you and it's not about them. Of course, knowing this doesn't make it magically happen. That would be freaking fantastic, but human emotions don't really work like that. And healing is messy, and I think we don't talk that about enough. I think the very first step of forgiveness often looks like acknowledging the reality of it, like acknowledging that you have been hurt, you are in pain, you are still in the middle of feeling it. And forgiveness doesn't mean skipping over this mess. It means honoring it. Like you have to allow yourself to feel this. You have to feel the anger, you have to feel the sadness, you have to feel the hurt. And you can say to yourself, yes, this happened to me and it hurts deeply. And it is important to remember there is no timeline for this. You take as much of time you need. You don't have to rush. Just do it on your pace. Here is something that gets overlooked very often. Before you can even think about forgiving someone else, first you have to forgive yourself. Yes, you heard that correctly. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for trusting in someone who let you down. Forgive yourself for believing their words when their actions didn't match. Forgive yourself for being vulnerable, for opening your heart. None of these things makes you feel foolish or weak. They make you human. And being human is messy. But it's beautiful, even when it hurts. So forgiving yourself is an act of love. It's saying, I'm not defined by what happened to me. I'm defined by how I choose to move forward. And starting with self-forgiveness is a great, powerful step forward. I did keep saying step, but there is no direct line, straight line to the forgiveness. But being aware of this kind of a few key things can make it easier, or the journey a bit more clearer, the direction a bit more clearer. So what I want to highlight is forgiveness doesn't mean that what happened is forgotten, like forgetting what happened, and it doesn't mean that you should pretend that it isn't hurting or it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean letting the person off the hook for their actions, and it doesn't mean letting that person back into your life. Forgiveness is about reclaiming your power. It's about saying, you don't get to control my energy, my thoughts, or my peace anymore. It's important to know what forgiveness isn't, because this kind of misunderstanding, so to say, can hold you back. And sometimes forgiveness is not a one-time thing, it's a process. Some days you might feel like you moved on, but then something triggers you and like all the pain comes rushing back. It's like you have not made any progress, but that's normal. That's part of the messy healing. And it doesn't mean you are failing, it just means you are still healing, and healing isn't linear. It's okay to forgive just a little bit today, how much you can, and leave the rest for another time when you are ready. If you are struggling with forgiveness right now, whether it is to forgive someone who hurt you or forgiving yourself, I would like to remind you that you are not alone. And it's okay if you are not there yet. Even if feels like it's impossible today, that's okay. Start where you are, feel what you need to. Be kind to yourself in the messiness of this healing, and know that forgiveness is less about the other person and more about freeing yourself. Well, take it one step at a time. That's what I'm trying to do. And remember, forgiving yourself is one of the most powerful acts of love that you can give. This was it for today. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them, and let's support each other through this messy, beautiful journey of healing. And if you find this helpful, your likes and subscriptions would mean the world to me. Cheers, my dears. Until next time. Well, this is what happens when you try to shoot the videos while your hair started to fall off. Well, I hope you don't see it much. Okay, I should change my t-shirt to something darker, I guess. Wow, this really sucks.